Today on Nerdalific, we're going to look at determining which income will be used for the fully flexible expenses. In the last two videos, we looked at determining which incomes would cover the fixed and the moderately flexible amounts, and today we are moving on to the completely flexible expenses. A completely flexible amount is something that you have complete control over how much you are going to save. Now, of course, when it comes to gas, if you are commuting for your job or you're driving your vehicle Monday to Friday, you may have a set amount of gas money that you are going to need each week. And that, of course, depends on what the current gas prices are. I don't think that I would use a monthly income to cover this because you're going to want to put gas in your tank on a regular basis. So if you're only saving monthly and something happens and you come up short, or you're a few days before your monthly transaction takes place and you're on E, well, you're just not going to have what you need when you need it. I recommend using one of your bi-weekly incomes. Let's pick a new color because picking colors is super fun. Let's go with this funky little gold. Now, saving this bi-weekly is going to be $100. Now, if you're using gas about $50 per week, I'm going to guess you probably only have one vehicle driving to work. If, however, you're not driving a long way and you're staying very close to home, then maybe you're only going through $25 to $30 per week. I'm going to bump this up to $60 because I feel like if you're driving locally and you have two vehicles, it's going to be a minimum of $30 a week. Now, of course, you might have some extra trips that you want to make, or, drive another 45 minutes to go to a special theater. So let's bump this up to $80 weekly. Now our gas amount for bi-weekly is $160. Let's go back to the budget and enter in gas. Make it yellow so that we have it color coordinated like the others. I'm going to put this on the main income. $160. Let's go back to our planning and change this to the yellow. Now, one helpful tip. Color coding helps you figure out where you've left off at. Sometimes doing this planning step can take a lot of extra thought, and it might not happen in one session or one weekend or one day. You might need a little bit more time to play with it to get things the way you need it. Now, another one that I would kind of set at the same thought process as the gas is the groceries, because you need to make sure that you have the food you need. So let's change this to the same color of yellow. I'm going to hit Control-C to copy it. I'm going to go over here and paste it here. It's a little bit faster now. We've got the color and the name, and we don't have to sit there and type and change the formatting around. I should have thought of that sooner. Let's go back to your planning sheet. Your bi-weekly payment is $300, so you're spending $300 bi-weekly on groceries. Let's copy that and go back to our budget sheet, and let's put this under income number 2. Now, we still have some money coming here. We have nothing designated for income 3. Now, income 3 could be something like a child tax credit, or maybe somebody's monthly part-time income, or maybe you're charging your teenager $500 a month to help cover expenses. Either way, this monthly income is great for saving for things like dining out and special occasions, because you probably don't need that amount every second week. So let's go here. Dining out. We will change the dining out to a different color. Let's go with this funky salmon color. I don't even know what color that is. Dining out. Copy and paste. Now your dining out is $130 monthly. Make sure you're grabbing the amount under the right column. If you're getting confused by having too many columns, another option is adding an extra border. So if you highlight column E, and we go up here to the borders, let's make a thicker border on the right. Let's go to More Borders. When this window comes up, we can pick a thicker line. We can go down here, and you see these little lines here. It'll tell you exactly where that line is going to go. So if you click on this one time, it will show you on the screen an example of where that border is going to land on your sheet. So let's hit OK, and voila! Now we have a thicker border so that we don't get confused as to what the total amount is versus the actual payment amounts, or the save amounts, I should say. Dining out is $130 monthly. So let's take this $130, we'll go back to the budgeting sheet, and under the monthly income, we will paste values only, $130. Now let's do the special occasions and gifts. We can just use the same color. It's really in the same family. Special occasions and gifts, paste, planning, it is $33.33. Copy and paste, values only. Now we'll go back to the planning and change this to the funky color. Now back on our budgeting sheet, let's just fix our formatting a little bit, because it kind of drives me nuts when the words are going outside of the borders. So double click between A and B and voila! Everything is now lined up and looks a little prettier. Don't forget to save. Now the last thing on this list here is other. This could be things like, a membership fee or something else that you're saving for. You could have a lot more added to this list that I might not be aware of. I'm just giving you an idea of how to balance things. So if you go back to your budget sheet, you can see how much money you have remaining from each income. Again, this family or this household is doing quite well for themselves because they are still getting another $1,000 per month from a regular biweekly income that is not designated for anything specific. Now, either I've built you a very poor example, or, I want to be friends with these people because they know what the hell they're doing. So at this stage in your budgeting plan, you're going to be looking over everything. You're going to review all of your decisions, everything that is typed into this budgeting sheet, and you're going to make sure that it is set up the way that you want and that you feel confident and comfortable with how this budget is laid out. If you're not, make some more changes. This is just a spreadsheet. It is not set in stone yet. Now, once you go in to your online banking and you start creating all of your savings accounts and you start setting up all of your recurring transfers and all of your recurring bill payments, everything like that, then you can't really come in here and willy-nilly change things without also changing it in your online banking. This is your guide. This is going to tell you how to set up all of your recurring transfers and bill payments in your online banking, and it's going to help you when you want to make changes. So for example, if you decide that you want to spend $100 a month on, yourself, you could go, me, and $100 per month. Now I'm spending $100 per month on myself. Now what happens if at the top here you go into the negative on any of them? Well, that means you need to move some things around. So for example, if we took all of this, just as an example, and pasted it in here, we've only got $43 left. Now that could be, your coffee money and one lunch, and boom, your money is gone. I'm going to hit Control-Z to undo. Now what happens if you go in the negative? So say we put all of that back in there, and we take the $300 and we also put it there. Now we are negative $257. Now if you want to make this a little bit more visible for yourself, you can highlight these cells, go to Format, and under Number, change it to Currency, and select where it says the negative number is red. Now anytime you plan over your budget amount, over your income amount, it will always change red, and then you'll know, hey, I've got to make some changes here. Now what if you balance things as best you can and everything is still negative or close to zero? What does that mean? Well, that could mean you need some financial assistance, or you need to do some cutting back. You need to cut back on things if you are in the negative in any way, shape, or form. I hope this has given you some sort of visibility on how to set up your budget, how to identify when you're having some problems, and when you need to make some changes. In the next video, we'll talk about what your next steps were going to be now that you have your budget planned, and how to maintain and make changes on your budget workbook and how to keep track of those changes. So thank you for joining Nerdalific, and we'll see you in the next video.